Hey, what's going on, guys? Gdoggcasey here with my buddy Matt, casting some more StarCraft 2 action from the Chobo Team League. This is a Week 4 matchup between Team All Inspiration and Team Vortx Esports. I'll start off by introducing our purple Zerg player in the top left corner of Merry-Go-Round. He is Vortx Esports Nimo.
And in the 2 o'clock position, we have our very own pink Zerg player, gdoggcasey, for Team All Inspiration. So we have a ZVZ matchup here.
Yeah, definitely. And ZVZ has quickly become one of my favorite matchups because I do the same thing pretty much every time. I have been mixing in some builds recently, but back when I played this one, I was on a very roach-heavy mindset here where I just, if you focus on your macro and you're confident in your ability to out-macro your opponent, then you can just make more roaches than them and win. So you can expect that type of play out of me in this game.
Yeah, so there's no surprise for Casey in this match. He's going to know exactly what's going to go down. But from a third-person view, we are going to see the timings of everything and to see how it all plays out. Now, so far in this week 4, we have done quite a few casts already, and I've seen quite a few interesting builds, and I'd like to see some more interesting builds coming out. I don't know what's going on in this game, but it's been very exciting this week 4.
Yeah, in Zerg versus Zerg, what I've sort of come to terms with is whenever you try to do an interesting build, the guy who just goes for roaches usually just kills you, for the most part. I mean, it's definitely possible to hold off that roach push, but if you're trying to go for like a swarm hose push or mutalisks or even speedlings, the roaches just in the end, they overcome, they prevail. A little bit of deviation here from the two players here. The hatch went down second after the pool for me, whereas for Nimo, he put down the hatch first and then the pool and then the gas.
Yeah, so a little bit of difference, but overall same play as it stands. gdoggcasey with the slight edge in workers at the moment.
Oh yeah, that drone is just scouting the outskirts because I saw a drone in my base and I didn't really see where it went, so I was just checking the outskirts of the creep here to make sure there was no surprise spine crawler going down. In terms of vision, let's see here. My vision is Overlord going over his main right now. I can see spawning pool, I can see the gas, as well as the transferring drones here. Whereas on Nimo's side, he sees my expansion has gone down, but he's not really in a position to do any more scouting at the moment.
Now we have 4 defensive links for gdoggcasey just sitting at the top of the ramp here of the natural. I think they're just there to stop any run by and the dropping of a spine crawler.
Yeah, which has become kind of a staple to my build here because I can't stand it when players just run a bunch of speedlings into your base. And because I do have an Overlord who was able to get some scouting off, actually floating right above his natural right now, I can see the expansion is there, so I shouldn't have really expected a speedling run by this early. But, it makes me feel better to get that down. Actually dropping a second spine and a third. Wow.
So a very defensive posture by gdoggcasey. The drone count now, because of the minerals put into those spine crawlers, is in favor of Nimo. Although it seems to be changing ever so slightly.
I was ahead there by 3, and then Nimo had 4 more come through, so he's got the lead, and now I have the lead again. It's basically how ZVZ works, just how fast can you get on your larva and turn them into drones. 3 spine crawlers is incredibly defensive, though. Probably way too much, because you can build another hatchery with the amount of minerals it takes to build that. But just playing it safe here. We can see the baneling nest going down for Nimo. So I'm not completely unjustified in putting that down because of the fact that it looks like with Zergling speed on the way and the baneling nest, we could see an early-ish attack that might hit before I can get my roaches.
Yeah, and we see the dropping of the Evo chamber and the roach horn. Only 1 Evo chamber for gdoggcasey as it stands.
Yeah, which I'm not really too happy with either. I've learned since then to just drop both Evo chambers, but this match happened a few weeks ago, so going off of old build orders there.
Now the repositioning of the spine crawlers closer to the ramp. are going to see these and just wipe out all of those Zerglings, so actually no damage done whatsoever. So good replacement.
Yeah, and now Nemo's going to think twice about coming at me with a Baneling bust because he sees all three Spine Crawlers there. So he's going to switch it up and go for a lair. My lair's on the way as well. Timings are actually incredibly similar. He got his lair down a little bit faster. At the moment, our drone counts are very similar. And right now it's just kind of macroing up and trying to get to that spot that you want to be in the game. Right? Like the Roach Horn is up now. The lair's almost done. The +1 attack is coming through. So it looks like we're going to be going for like a sort of +1 roach speed timing here. But there's no roaches on the map yet.
No roaches. Nobody's taken a third yet. We are 8 minutes into the game. Normally in long macro games I do see thirds being taken by about this time, maybe a little bit sooner. And just as I say that, I realize Nimo has dropped a third.
Yeah. Now this would be good for Nimo if he was able to hold this up. But from my point of view, which I don't think I can see it yet. No, I can't see it right now. But from my point of view, when I'm going for this type of roach push and I see the opponent go for a third base, usually I'm happy to see it. As I'm moving Overlord over it right now, I can see it in place and I'm thinking like, good. So he's going for a third and I'm going for a roach attack that's going to be hitting soon. So I would expect to have more army units than him whenever the battle does happen.
Now this placement of the Overlord in the midst of all of gdoggcasey's Overlord for Nimo will see any oncoming attack unless he takes the long route up or no, it wouldn't be the long route, actually. He's positioned in the correct position.
Yeah, he's got two Overlords there actually, so he can see if the roaches go up the ramp over here or if they just take the straight path to his base. So he does have Overlords in a good place here. And that third base, oh, what happened there? Did I miss something? I'm going to go back. I know I don't usually do this, but I want to see what happened to that third. Because it looks like Nimo canceled it.
And then replaced it.
So I don't really know what happened there. I apologize if I missed something on the replay. But yeah, the third base gets canceled, and we can see some purple Banelings going down now, so Nimo definitely coming up for an attack. But the Roaches are moving out. And those three spines back at home are really going to, you know, I'm happy I paid for them now. Because he won't be able to do too much. He's actually going to back up.
Yeah, so we have 15 Roaches, 4 gdogs streaming across the map, and more in tow. Probably a total of 15, 16, 17, about 20, 21 Roaches in total, heading directly in the way of that third. So let's see whether or not Nimo is going to be able to cancel in time. And if we look at the chat, we see that, oh wow, no, didn't even cancel it, unfortunately.
And now he's got a bunch of Speedlings and Banelings, which are really not the answer to +1 Roaches to speed. Although he does have a few spines here, and in the background here, making some Mutalisks, and actually, there's a decent number of Mutalisks here that may eventually be able to clean up this fight. But for the meantime, this is a lot of Roaches, and they're going to be able to kill a lot of things in the natural here. More rallying across the map as well.
Yeah, the Mutas will eventually clean this up, but the damage is already being done. Evo Chamber taking out that second base is gone.
Yeah. Now, with the Speedlings and the Broodlings and the Mutas here all kind of getting surrounded these Roaches, it looks like the attack may be stifled for now, although more Roaches coming in. But that's a lot of Mutas now, and they're going to be able to do a lot of damage to these Roaches. So, when you're a Zerg player and you realize, like, crap, the other Zerg opponent might have enough Mutas to be able to deal with this, my natural response is to just switch to Hydras. But I feel like being on 2 bases, it's not really enough to really push out as many Hydras as you would like.
Now, unfortunately, we have gdoggcasey still streaming Roaches across the map after the fight had already been lost, so these are going to be sacrificed, and the dropping of the natural is done again by Nimo.
Yeah. Yeah, and there is more Roaches streaming too, so that was definitely a bad decision here. Streaming more of these Roaches across the map, most likely just going to die to these Mutas and being a big waste here. The Hydra Den has gone down though, but I still don't really like the fact that I'm only on 2 bases right now, because, I mean, we're going to end up running out of money soon.
Yeah, and these roaches do get a run by these zerglings, but unfortunately some of them are being A-moved, or sorry, not being A-moved, so they are going to get wiped out. Now, is he going to be able to cancel this natural?
It looks like it. There's a lot of damage here. These roaches got to focus down that natural.
No, unfortunately they switched their attention over to the Evo chamber.
Oh my god, this is so disappointing. Taking both buildings almost to nothing. Actually, did kill the Evo chamber, but we're not going to be able to get the map.
No, and Mutas again clean up for a second time.
Yeah, and more roaches here for the Mutas to clean up as well.
Now let's see if any... There we have some Hydras now in a defensive posture by the spines of the natural. And the third going down for gdoggcasey, about 50% done.
Yeah, so very late on that. And actually Nimo took a fourth as well right here on the high ground. So trying to catch up. He's definitely making the right decisions here. And if I keep throwing my roaches away, this will end up working out well for him. But it looks like the roach production has stopped and we're just focusing on Hydras now. And the Hydras are moving out. Now these are +2, or no wait, they're +1 Hydras. +2 attack is on the way. As well as Ling speed.
Yeah, gotta clean up the Overlord's vision, so they're gonna see... Oh, let's see if these Mutas get cleaned up. One gets taken out.
Yeah, Hydras are so good against Mutas. And once the range finishes and the speed finishes for the Hydras, they'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with here for these Mutas. 26 Lings on the way, speed just about to finish up. These Lings are made just to kind of distract Nimo here. He does have some Zerglings out and they're doing work against these Hydras. Zerglings are definitely not terrible against Hydras.
No, but these Hydras are doing their job. They're going to clean up the Mutas and take out that natural yet again. Although yeah. I don't think GDog realizes that there's two other bases, although nothing in them, unfortunately.
The vision shows me that I've seen the third, but I haven't seen the fourth yet. And at this point, just with Hydralisks and Zerglings charging in, it's pretty much just put the pedal to the metal here and just really try to stamp out Nimo with a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it looks like it's all over but the crying is just more roaches, more Zerglings just streaming their way across the map.
Yeah, tons of drones going down here from the main, and that should be enough. There's been 30 drone kills.
Yeah, and if we look at the supply, it's 90 to 21 at the moment, and these Hydras are just going to clean up whatever mess they can find.
Corruptors coming out here. I'm not really sure what the plan was for those Corruptors, but they do come out, and there's a GG by Nimo.
So a good game played by both players, but again, there has to be a loser, and it looks like All Inspirations gdoggcasey does come out with the victory with the Roach/Hydra push.
Yeah, it definitely worked out there. Basically, you know, that's kind of the plan that, or the build order that I've been going with on a regular basis here, and just really refining it. Now, you know, players are going to watch these replays and possibly get a tell on my play, which I'm fine with, because I'm a firm believer that if you can balance out the macro, or sorry, really hammer down the macro, refine the build, make it perfect, then even if the other player knows what you're doing, you can still win the game if you just do your plan better than them. So that's kind of my goal with this.
Yeah, and it seemed to work out very well for you in this game. So thanks everyone for watching, and let's look forward for the next game.
Yeah, now just one quick little blurb here I want to make. In the next week, I have actually just casted my game live, like just talking over my gameplay. And for next week, we're going to try putting that in instead of me and Matt casting over my game, just to see what kind of response it gets. I find it a little bit awkward to be casting my own style of play, especially when I know what's going to happen at the end of the game. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I will do it if that's what you guys would rather, instead of seeing my play in the first-person view. But next week we'll do it that way, and we'll see what it looks like, and let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.